Right then, well, we've come to a bit of a momentous time in the building of the bike. Today I'm going to be fitting electronic ignition onto the ignition circuit. Now, I've had this ignition circuit, this electronic ignition, for quite a while really, and it's from Electrics World Limited, and it consists of, and I'll bring it closer for you so you can see, a stator and some gadgets and gizmos and bits and pieces to make it work. And the version that I've got is the one that, because my bike doesn't have a battery, it has to have direct lighting. Hence, if you remember, when we did the rewiring of the bike, we had to put a little 6-volt battery system into it to power the lights when they're on parking and things like that. So I've got the direct lighting version. Now the thing is I can't show you the actual big stator fitting inside the motorbike. The version that I've got, as I said, is the direct lighting one, and it replaces the actual flywheel. That's the flywheel there. It replaces the flywheel with an electronic version. Now, I gave my motorbike engine probably 2 or 3 years ago to a friend of mine who was, he restores Vincent's, to have a look at it, to see what it was like. And he determined that it needed the electronic ignition system putting in. So I gave him the money for it, and he then began to fit it. And he fitted the part where he took that old stator plate thing off and put the new one on the engine, and then gave me it back because he couldn't go any further forward, obviously, because it needed all the extra bits and gubbins fitting onto the bike. And there it sat with the bike, with the engine, for 2-3 years. As you do, time ticks away. Anyway, because we've now restored the Bantam to where it is, the time has come to fit and everything onto the bike. Now the first thing is to determine where bits and pieces go. Now, as I mentioned before, it's got like electronic black box gubbins that need fitting onto it, and they all come with different plates and wires and plugs and one thing and another. Anyway, when I get it, I'm thinking, well, where can I put all this stuff? Where do they all go? Because on the old Bantam, the wires come out from the engine straight to the spark plug, boom, and that's it, off it goes. But we've got all these extra bits. So I thought the only place I can do it is to put the electronic gubbins in the toolbox. And then I was prepared, because there was no other choice really, to put a hole in the toolbox and bring all the wires out to go to the spark plug. And whilst I'm thinking, oh no, look at that, I could have done it, what sure. Anyway, I'm thinking, no, it's wrong, so I did what everybody does really. No, I'll leave it for a time being and I'll go away and I'll have a think. And then while I was thinking, I remembered that on my particular bike there seems to be a bracket on the cross member from the headstock down to the rest of the frame. And I'll put a picture on in a minute, and like magic it will appear. And I'm thinking about that, and I thought, you know what, I wonder if the gubbins, the electronic gubbins, would fit on that and therefore be hidden from sight by the petrol tank, because the petrol tank goes over. And I'm thinking, do you know what, I bet it would fit, because like you can, you know, if you remember, the petrol tank goes over, it's got a gap there. So that when it came to all the gubbins, they would all be fitted inside there and nobody would see it. So I'm thinking to myself, do you know what, that's probably a good idea. So I've taken the tank off, as you can see, and I've moved the seat back, and again I'll show you that in a moment. And I'm left with where all the wires go. So the only other different thing that needs to go on that is not standard for the bike is a kill switch, right, which has to be mounted onto the handlebars. So that's the first thing that I'm going to fit, is the kill switch, and it obviously must short it out to stop the bike from running, because it doesn't have an ignition key. Just I can't even remember how we used to stop it before. Probably stalled it, I can't remember. In my mind's eye I can see like a little gadget that you used to press on the spark plug, but I can't remember. Anyway, that's where we've got to. So the first thing to do is to show you setting the actual gubbins up to top dead centre, which is what the instructions say. And on the gubbins there's a little red mark, and again I'll show you a picture which should appear like now. And on that red mark is a timing mark, and you alter the actual outside of the case by undoing the casing until it's there. So that's what we're going to do now. So here is the what is the old stator place. Like I said, that's replaced, was put on by the chap who did the ignition for me before, and I don't know if that's making it any better or worse, but there's the timing marks. Oh, look at that powerful screw magnet that is. 19 degrees and 30 degrees, and he's fitted it. Obviously he's just pulled the puller off and put the puller and done it that way, and I'm not going to take it off to put it back on. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to disturb his work. So the replacement has been screwed to the outer covering really, and it slots on, and this doesn't move. It's fixed to there, screwed in place through these bolts here. Oop. There and there, it's screwed in place so it doesn't move, and it's fastened in nice and tight onto here. So it just slips over and the magnet's pulling it in, and I don't know if you can see, put a bit more light on it, you can turn it so you can adjust it. And what the instructions say is that it should be adjusted so that the timing mark is at 30 degrees for this Bantam. So that red dot there has got to be in line with that 30 degrees there. So what I'm going to do for now is I'm just going to put these in to hold it so that it won't fall off. On twisted. Nice little tap. Let's come home. So let's see if I can zoom the camera out a little bit. So top dead center is what the instructions say, and yes, you could get some sort of timing wheel device to go on there to do it, but I use the old adage of I put something in on this top of the cylinder head and I crank the engine round to make sure it's done it. So I'm just going to try and do that for us. So it's now changed there, you can't see it there, so you can see the engine going round as I use the kickstart to move it. So let's see if I can get this feeling for it. Oh, here it comes. Up a little bit more. Up a little bit more. Up a little bit more. That's about top dead centre. And I'll just use the screwdriver and the kickstart to see, and just trying to catch it just as it's going down. So that's there. And then when we look here, we can see that the timing mark isn't very far out from where it says to be at 30. So let's see if we can adjust it to be at 30, which is about there. There. So let's just nip that up. And I'll tighten those up in a second. And then let's spin it over and let's see what we get. So we can see that the marks are going round. So let's see then. Yeah, definitely disappeared. Definitely disappeared. Can't feel it yet. Oh, here it comes. It's coming up. Oh, gone too far. Here it comes. Yeah, just too far again. One more time. Here it comes. Oh, too far. Just about there. Yeah. So going round in the revolutions, just about there, and the timer marks in line. So I know that to the best of when the piston now is at top dead centre, the timing marks are aligned, which is what it says to do in the instructions. So that's part's done. Okay, so we've got the two alignment lines in done, so we know that because we know that it's top dead centre, we know that that's okay. So let's just put the outer covering on for now to stop all the muck getting in, and then we'll see about doing the rest of the bits and pieces. So just nip it up. Not with that one, I will. Nice and tight. There we go. I'll nip them all up in a moment, But that's now nice and secure, so we know that everything's cool there. So the next thing then is to move it up and start having a look at putting all the gubbins together. So let's have a look from there. I love that word, gubbins. So this is what we're talking about. Getting one bit onto there. So we know that the goes onto the spark plug. So what I intend to do really to keep things nice and tidy, I'm just going to pass a cable tie through there, round there, to keep it all nice and neat. Keep it nice and neat and tidy. I'll cut it all off completely, but that'll just hold it on so that we know when we come to make it everything is tucked up out of the way really. So our next step is to fit the kill switch onto the handlebars. So we'll do that, then we'll come back to the rewiring of it. So let's turn it off for now. Well, the switch goes on to the handlebars like so, and it has a clamp that comes underneath and holds onto it, and the wires I intend to feed through where the clutch cable goes, just there. So we'll follow suit. So that's the cable pass through down into the grommet, and all the wires are underneath the steering yoke. So let's take it back up and let's have a look at what we're going to do with the wiring. Let's try and sort out all the wires, and how it goes, who knows, but we'll soon find out, won't we? Okay, so the wires have come up. Let's zoom out a little bit, show you where we are. So the wires have come up out of the stator place, round and round and round, and they're there. Okay. So, very conveniently, it has a little label on that I put on before for the kill switch. So the first one is bigger than normal, and that's gone on there, and it's got a kill switch. It's asking for that to go onto there. Yep, so that's all that one done. And then it's got a little one to slot onto there. So that's that one done. And that leaves me 2 wires here and 2 wires here. Let's have a look. That seems to be an earth. So I've got an earth, earth and an earth. So let's join all them together. Good. All the earths can go onto one place. That's good. Let's put that there. So that leaves me an earth and a yellow. So one goes to one and one goes to the other, one would think. Yeah. So what have we got here? I've got an earth and a live one. Going to the wiring diagram, one goes to one, one goes to the other. So let's push them two together. Alright, that comes out of there. Then that needs a connection putting on. Onto there. That is an earth. Let's put that onto there. Oops, pretty good so far. Those are all the earths together. All the earths are wired up together. And then those come out from there, and I can tidy those wiring up. What does this one? This one needs to plug into the socket. So I need to work out how to keep all the wires nice and neat. Let's pull that one apart again, I think. Good. I want to keep them all nice and neat. That I can adjust for that. That can come up. Can we zoom out a little bit? I'll come back a bit. Won't be a moment. So I'm just working out what goes where. And this wire is the wire that when we did the rewired the wiring loom for the bike, this was always left so that it would couple into the ignition system. So I need to work out how I can put that there. I don't want anything to cause any bother, because normally this would come up from here and go straight to the spark plug. So let's have a look. I can put it the other side of the petrol pipe. So I might cut that cable tie off and put it onto there, and then put another cable tie around there to hold that up, because I want everything to be as neatly as possible. And then I could run those up to there like that. How does that, keeps that look nice and tidy, tidy-ish. And then I can bring that up to there. Got all these blinking wires from there to there. So the last thing I want is to have wires all over the blinking place. Yeah. Nice and tidy, want everything out of the way. So if I get another cable tie just for now, pass all those through there, that holds that all nice and tidy. That I can jiggle around, that can come over there. Right, let's get a cable tie. Okay, well, since the last time I did some work on the bike, one of the things really I noticed was that the tape ran out in my little gadget, my dynamo gadget, so I was unable to label as much as I would like all the cables. Now it seemed to be a lot of cables had earths all going into one thing, so I thought, right, well, instead of lots of different earths, what I thought I would do is I would conjoin all the earths. For instance, there's 3 into one, so I've got an earth from there, an earth from there, and an earth from there, all into one to run it across. And then I'm thinking, hang on a minute, that's 1 joint, 2 joints, 3 joints, and as the saying goes, where there's a joint there's a weakness, and there was no other reason for doing this other than me trying to be trick. So I've decided not to do that. So I'm going to pull all these earths out, like that. It might look like a piece of trick wiring, but I'm unhappy, because knowing my luck, everything would go together and then somewhere along the line one of these joints would cause a problem, and well, I'd spend forever trying to mend it. So for the sake of not having a straight line, I've decided that's what I'm going to do. So then when I started to do that, I ran out of these, and I just ran out of them, because of course they all go to the one earth point. So I've had to go down and buy some more of those. So anyway, I've got enough now to do it, so I'm just going to build myself some cables, and then I'll assemble them, and then you'll see me wire up the bike. I'm just going to change the angle of the camera. So why am I using white? Because that's the colour that I used for earth when I rewired the motorbike. So I'm continuing with the colour scheme that I did when I rewired my motorbike. So So that's 3 cables made. Now I just need to test that I haven't made any mistakes, and test the continuity. Make sure everything is as it should be. Yep, that one's okay. Yep, that one's alright. Yep, they're fine. So I've now got the 3 cables, 2 male, two female, one male, and now I'm going to put them onto the motorbike. So I'll just change the camera again. Okay, so first one, kill switch earth. That's the kill switch earth. One joint, ready to go. Let's put that over there. Together. Right, let's label it up. It really is a good gadget, that printing machine, because you know exactly what goes where, because it's trying to fathom it later if you ever had to do that. I'll leave one down there. On the far side, I'm going to put one down there as well, so that I know which one's which, just in case there's a problem. There we go. So, what's this one? Electronic ignition earth. So, change the label on the machine and print them off. So the second cable goes on. So let's check the wiring then. So I've got all the earths, ignition earth, one there, and a positive in, black earth from there, kill switch positive, positive in, onto there, yeah. Let's just check the wiring diagram again. Where is it? So let's check the wiring diagram. So that's that. Got one wire coming out and going into the positive side of it, I've got one wire coming out and going into the negative side of it, the earth. That goes onto there. Ignore that because I don't have a battery. I've got one black wire coming in there, one blue line coming in there. That's linked into the positive for that, and that's the kill switch earth, which is there. So according to the wiring diagram, everything is as it should be. All I've got to do now is tidy up that, because I just don't like wires as untidy as that. But that shouldn't be hard to do. So let's have a look. So I'm just tidying up now, getting rid of the old cable ties. Trying to make everything look nice and tidy. I know the wires are all connected up. I know where they all are. I know how there's no wire appears to be under undue strain in terms of anything. Plenty of room to allow me to cut for the only just one there. Just one wire I would have preferred to be on the other side of there. Oh well, there you go. Ha. Keep it all out of the way. One more cable tie. That. And then nice and tidy. Yeah, plenty of room for that to adjust. Yeah, they keep all them in there. There's nothing going to rub, nothing going to cause any problems. Plenty of room for the kill switch to move round. And I think that's just about it. So yeah, so we've got the wires that come up from the ignition into the actual electronic ignition gubbins. Then we've got the wires that come out from there, or we know that we've wired them up. They all come down to a central point down here, central earth down there. So now it's just a matter of putting the tank back on, putting the seat back on, and then that's another job done. So I'll just move the camera back so you can see that happening.